Hello, everyone, and welcome to the I Am Love Builders show. We are your hosts, Casper and Cheryl Stockham, and we are so glad that you tuned in with us today. I Am Love Builders is a show that's dedicated to all things that deals with relationships and communication. It doesn't matter if you're married or single. We want you to have the best relationship.
Yeah.
We want your relationship and your marriage to thrive and to
Mhm.
prosper, and that you can become an MVP. That's the most valuable partner in your marriage. I Am Love Builders wants to give a great big shout out to all of our guests, to everyone who's joined in, and especially to our broadcast partners.
Yes.
We are looking forward to the show. We're glad you tuned in with us. And remember, if you are not having fun, you're
You are not
not doing
doing
it
it
right.
right. No doubt about that. All right. We're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. Now, Cheryl and I, a couple months ago, we were down in Texas
Mm-hmm.
attending the second annual Zanti Award,
Yes.
and we won the award for our category.
Yay.
Yay.
Amen. Praise
Yeah, that
God.
was the first season, and we're doing season 2 of Winning with Love and season 1 of Winning the Single Game. So we're
Mm-hmm.
going to be talking more about that here in just a moment. And the Zanti Award is kind of like the People's Choice Award, basically, but for the
For the
Zandra TV,
network.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Zandra TV network. Um, so I surprised my wife. I said, I entered us into this contest,
Mm-hmm.
and I really want to win this thing because there's $20,000 prize money, plus
Yes.
we get a,
A write up
a
in
write up
Variety
in
magazine.
Variety magazine. So we have gone through now the top 20. We made that. The top 15, we made that. The top 10, we made that. And
Mm-hmm.
we just completed the top 5. Now, there's other groups that are competing,
Mm-hmm.
but we're second place in our group. So now we're into the next round. This is going to go on until the middle of September when they announce the winner. So if you're watching this show, there's still plenty of time for you to vote for us daily, and you can
Yes.
vote for free. Or if you want to contribute like $10, you get 10 votes or whatever. But yeah, we want to win this because it's going to help us in our mission to end divorce around the world. So we're
Yes.
excited about that. Okay, and then we are, like I said, we're doing a casting call for Winning with Love, season 2, and Winning the Single Game for so couples and singles. We're looking to do that, right?
Right.
And we have a lot of media services we provide through Zandra TV network. We got TV advertising, podcast promotions, and you name it, video, business directory. We got a lot of media services that we have with Zandra TV network. We have a free Facebook group that we are building. There's several hundred people in that group. And this is a free group for folks to join, and they get a lot of great relationship information, marriage information,
Mm-hmm.
any kind of sneak previews on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We put that up in the Facebook group. So, check that out, scan the QR code and go there. We also have an app, and this is a free app. You can download it from our website,
Mm-hmm.
IamLoveBuilders.com. You can get all the things we're talking about are all in the app. You can actually watch our TV show from the app. You can get access to our ebooks, our love assessments, our relationship quizzes. All those things are available through the app, along with discounts on our books, because we have a couple of books that we're have written and are going to be releasing another book here in about 3 weeks that my wife wrote called Mastering Eve. So we'll be talking about that here in a second. But yeah, you can get access to all of that stuff through our app. And we want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Texas All Stars. They have perfected the crypto mining process. This is a phenomenal company and a phenomenal program uh, to help people. Most people have no idea what crypto mining even is,
Right.
but we actually have a miner. Actually, you have your own miner.
I have my own minor.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of me too.
So Cheryl has a miner. I got a miner. My daughters have a miner. My sisters. Everybody's got a miner. But this company has really perfected this process because people don't realize that we are moving into this digital age very quickly. In fact, the government just passed a Genius Act, and that Genius Act allows for crypto to become mainstream.
Wow.
In fact, they partnered it up with the dollar, the U.S. dollar.
Mm.
So Nixon back in 1971 took us off the gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
So Trump put us back on the crypto standard, put the dollar on the crypto standard, and kind of married those two together.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's something people need to check out. You can go to Texas All Stars, get more information about that. All right. So real quick, folks, I wanted to let you know that. So we have a book that we wrote several years ago called Divorce Proofing Your Marriage. And then I wrote a book called Mastering Adam.
Mm-hmm.
But now we are finishing up a book and it's going to the editor, the publisher. Cheryl wrote a book called Mastering Eve.
Yes.
So these two books together, Mastering Adam and Mastering Eve, to me are twinsies because we were doing an interview just the other day and we were telling the lady that really men should buy Mastering Adam.
Correct.
Women should buy Mastering Eve.
Correct.
And read those first. Even if you're married, read those first. And then both start to read Divorce Proofing Your Marriage. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Because the whole thing about marriage is that we don't fully understand marriage.
No, we don't.
I mean, especially those in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of marriage, why we're getting married, what marriage is supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Each of us have our own vision of marriage. And when those two visions do not marry or do not come together, then that's where you have a lot more conflict and it leads to possibility of divorce. And so we really want people to understand marriage. People want to get married, but do you know why you're getting married? And how to choose the right partner?
Right.
Oh my gosh. When you were dating him, was he like that? Well, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, why did you marry him?
Well, I thought he was going to get better.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to start picking up his stuff after we got married. And just kept leaving more stuff because he knew I was going to pick it up.
I thought he was going to change or in our minds, we think we can change the other person.
Yeah.
But
we talk about that.
Yeah. Can't do that.
No.
Sounds good though.
Yeah.
But no.
You don't want a makeover project.
No, you don't. No. So I think if you get all three of the books, it will help you in better understanding marriage, the kingdom alignment, and that way you'll better be able to structure your marriage.
Yeah.
So that it is successful, it's thriving, it's prospering, it's flourishing, and it's in alignment with what God has planned.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to have once Mastering Eve comes out here in a couple of weeks, we're going to have all the books kind of like in a package deal where they can get them all and get them at a discount. All right, so we're going to take a quick break here. And when we come back, we're going to introduce our special MVP guests who are in the studio. So we're going to take a really quick break. And when we come back, we're going to bring them on to hear about what they are doing. All right. You're watching
I Am Love Builders with
that
your
show.
Hosts, Casper and Cheryl Stockham.
We'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome to I Am Love Builders MVP Premiere. Your marriage or relationship deserves the best. You deserve MVP Premiere. Introducing our exclusive 5-day one-on-one intensive immersion training. A life-changing experience for only 8 couples per year. From door-to-door charter travel to your choice of 4 exclusive locations. Gourmet dining, romantic outings, and VIP local transportation. We've thought of everything. And the best part is, you gain lifetime access support via phone, text, or video chat. Your relationship reimagined. Reinvented, renewed MVP Premiere because you both deserve nothing less. Apply today. Spots are filling fast. All right, we are back with the I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl. and we have our special MVP guest all the way from Missouri. Is that how you say Missouri?
No, it's Missouri.
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 See, I told you.
It's just like the Illinois instead of
Yeah.
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois. See?
Yes. We have Michael and Amy Nunn all the way from Missouri.
Yes.
Whatever. And, hey guys, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having us.
Doing good. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, so tell our audience or introduce yourselves to our audience. Tell us a little bit about you guys, and we're going to probe deeper here in just a moment.
Ladies first.
Well, my name is Amy Nunn, and we've been married for October will be 21 years.
Okay.
And yeah, we're excited about that. We've made it this far. We have 2 teenage boys. We have an 18-year-old boy and we have a 17-year-old boy.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. And what do you do?
Oh, I am a leadership coach and a trainer. So I work with businesses to help with culture and just team development, those types of things. You know, people are businesses' greatest assets that they have.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to get to that in a moment, but we want to find out, how did you guys meet? How did this all 21 years ago? How did this happen?
Yeah, we want to hear about the love story.
Yeah.
Oh, the love story.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking love story. So,
Oh boy.
So we actually met at church.
Okay.
And we actually met through like a mutual friend who actually I was engaged to at the time. And then when that did not work out, I went through to go through some counseling sessions with the pastor, and then she actually worked in the church office, so I started talking to her, and it kind of went from there, and dated for a couple of years, and she went on to a missions trip, and then I think it was Valentine's Day when he came back, and then I proposed to her then, and then we've been together ever since. So it's kind of the high level story from how we met and how we got engaged.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing. Hey, that was a good job.
Hey,
That was a good job.
It.
We were friends for a while before he kind of jumped from coming into counseling to, hey, I proposed on Valentine's Day. But we just were friends even before. His friend, his fiance was a friend of mine, and I knew him through her. And
she thought I was boring at first. So
he was so quiet. And I was like, what does she see in him? I don't get it. But he's an amazing, amazing man. So I'm thankful. I'm very, very thankful. God knew exactly what I needed, and here he is.
Yeah.
So what was the courtship like? What did you guys have to learn to get to the point of saying, I think we're ready to be married?
Yeah.
We were older, so we got married when we were 27.
Okay.
I grew up in church. My entire career up until the last few years when I started my own business has been in ministry. I'm actually an ordained pastor, and so I've always been in ministry, and I've always been a part of a church. And I would say that the biggest thing was we both had lived on our own. We both had we knew ourselves really well, and I think that was kind of unique to a lot of our friends and stuff. They were marrying younger and having kids earlier, and we just, I guess our courtship was.
Yeah, and probably to add to that, families that come in that you're also marrying the families, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's very important to, like, when I meet her family, she meets my family. Hey, they have a great feeling because as people have dated and they bring their significant others and family, it doesn't always go well, right? And it's no different from what we would experience, right? But when I brought her to my family and my dad, he fell in love with her instantly, right? It was like kindred spirits, kindred soul. And then when I saw her family, I was like, okay, yeah, their family's as crazy as mine now, and I love it. And
okay,
it was cool, and I was good with it.
So I have my parents divorced when I was very young, and they both remarried within a year and had kids. So I have 11 siblings, 7
Wow.
from my mom, 4 on my dad's side.
Wow.
And so, my family is chaotic when we get together because there's so many of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But in all truth, the first time I ever took him to my mom's house, my mom was married at the time. My mom's been married a couple times, and we get in the car to leave. And granted, I warned him up front. I'm like, listen, my family is crazy. There's a lot of us, and it's loud. And if you want to eat, get your food first, because it ain't gonna happen otherwise. Like, you just gotta get in there and get it done.
Yeah.
And we got in the car to leave, and he says, we're never going to be like that. We're not going to do that. And I was like, do what? And he's like, your mom and dad were calling each other names. Everybody was making fun of one another. Anyway, there was a litany of things that he pointed out, and I was like, oh, I didn't notice it because it was just normal for me.
I was going to say, you probably never even really paid any attention to it.
No, it was normal. And I don't feel like I was like that.
No, it wasn't. It was just, as we talked before, I'm a people watcher, introvert, watch. So I'm highly observant of people's behaviors. And I know, like, okay, ideally it's like, this is how things should be versus the way things are from what I'm seeing. So, but over the years with that side of the family, that dynamic's actually changed completely around, right?
Yeah.
Amen.
And what I did see in that family is like that dynamic could change, right? Because I saw, despite all that, they loved each other. They're fiercely loyal and loved each other, right? And that's what you look for, right? And when you're married to a family, is do they love each other? Can they stand to be in the same room with each other? And when it hits the fan, life hits the fan, are they going to be around for each other? Are they going to support each other? And
Yeah, we fight hard and we love hard, my family. And, over the years, 4 of my siblings has lived with us at some point in time.
Oh, wow.
We took guardianship of my youngest sister during high school. She came to live with us when we had 2 toddlers. So there's a lot of involvement there.
Amen. Wow. That's pretty good. So, Michael, do you have a big family too?
I have not compared to Amy's family. No, I have a brother. Now my parents, my mom went through a divorce when we were real young age.
Hey, hold that thought, Mike. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll get into your family dynamics here in just a moment. You're watching I Am Love Builder Show with Casper and Cheryl, and we have a special MVP guest in studio, Michael and Amy Nunn. We'll be right back in just a moment. All right, we are back with I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guest in studio, Michael and Amy Nunn. And Michael was just getting ready to tell us about his maybe normal family, or what's going on with your side.
I don't know what constitutes normal nowadays, but I got a brother, and my son. A little bit of background is my mom was divorced when we were real young, probably still in diapers, and met my stepdad shortly after, and they were married. And I call my stepdad my dad. He is my dad. There's no delineation from it. It's my dad. Now they've both passed since then,
Mhm.
but I have extended family where that's where the large part comes in. So on my dad's side of the family, from Mississippi, 16 brothers and sisters.
Whoa.
Now my mom's side of the family is she had a couple, yeah, 3 sisters and a brother.
Mhm.
But from the large family aspect, I was used to that, right? And then from the other portion that's not normal is I'm Army brat, and grew up, and part of my childhood was spent in Germany, because my dad was in the military, so as he went, he was in the Army. As he went, we went. So so two times in Germany, living there, and then coming back and living multiple places in the States, on the East Coast and in Texas. So it's I had an upbringing that's unusual, but it was a good upbringing, and I would say I was not appreciative at the time I was growing up.
Right.
Wow.
How many kids are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the moving that I did, but I do have that appreciation now.
Yeah.
When I grow up, but it's been fun, and you have to learn how to adjust and go through different things in different family aspects. So it's been quite an experience, and it wasn't for the faint of heart for sure, but it was a good experience.
Yeah.
Now his dad, or they call him Pops, he actually adopted Mike and his brother. And so that was and I just, man, I loved him so much. He passed away when our youngest was a month old. And so and then Mike's mom just passed away earlier this year. So it's just been crazy. Just been crazy. But the whole family dynamic, it does make a huge difference in your marriage.
Yes,
mine was chaotic, and it was not always the greatest. My parents divorced when I was 7. They both got remarried a year later, and it was just chaotic on both sides because you're introducing 2 new people to the kids, because they both had kids coming into both the marriages.
Right.
And and there's just a lot of dysfunction. But I tell people, our with me and my siblings, we put the fun in dysfunction.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that's
sorry.
No, I was gonna say that's totally awesome, because blended family, because we have a little blended family, and
Yes.
Casper's also military.
Yeah.
He lived in Germany too.
Yeah, I was in Germany like 3 years.
Okay, good. What
And
part
so
of Germany?
I was in Spangdahl and Bitburg area, which is about an hour west of Ramstein, Kaiserslautern.
Yeah. We lived in Hanau, which is a little bit outside of Ramstein Air Force Base, and then Wiesbaden. So that's 2 times I spent there.
Very familiar. Yep.
So do you still like traveling, Michael?
When I get to, did a lot of traveling when I was younger, and it was a lot of driving, and being young, sitting in the car for 8+ hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Although he took something away from that, we don't fly anywhere; we drive everywhere.
Yeah, we drive everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure do.
Well,
we do.
We inherited that.
No, you guys. Yeah, but you guys are in the middle of the country, right? So you can almost get to anywhere within 20 hours or so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Amy.
No, you go ahead. You first. You
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to talk about the whole blended family aspect. And you talked about, okay, so now you have your parents, and then they have new spouses. So they bring in that side of the family and those children, and they're here one weekend or not the other weekend, or here for the summer, or there for Christmas. It's just, the calendar is probably crazy.
Yeah. And it sounds It sounds like you guys are fortunate in the sense that you don't have a blended family, but you're connected to blended
Yeah.
families. Is that?
Yeah. You know, we had there was just a lot for me in my childhood. You know, the blended family was hard because, you know, you had parents, you know, you now include two extra adults into the parents that don't really get along.
Right.
And then they're taking on those people's feelings. And then some are more aggressive than the other, or there's a bitterness, or there's all these different dynamics of that. And it really affects kids. Parents don't realize that, you know, it really affects. Divorce doesn't just happen to the two people that were married; it happens to the entire family.
Yes.
And that includes like, for instance, my sister and her husband are divorced. He's actually our neighbor now. and my kids still call him Uncle Ronnie. We're still connected, and they do a really great job of co-parenting their kids. Because my sister grew up this way, where people hated each other, and so they're just back and forth at one another. And they decided that it didn't matter how they felt, but they were going to do the right things for their kids. And I wish more people could do that, because that's not what we encountered. So when my mom and my stepdad got divorced after 20 years of marriage, it started affecting my younger siblings. And that's when they started coming to live with us. Like my youngest sister, we took guardianship of her when she was in high school.
Wow.
And it was just a mess.
How much younger was she to you?
To me, she is probably 13 years younger than me.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
Okay.
My youngest sibling is 15 years younger than me.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right. We're going to take another quick break. You are watching I Am Love Builder Show. Casper and Cheryl, our special MVP guests in studio. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Well, which is my camera?
Right there, all the way down.
Oh, okay, I can talk to him. After all, he's my camera. I can talk to him.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Winning with Love with Casper and Cheryl Stockham. We are here with our wonderful guests.
God has been very graceful. Going back to what you stated, it's that work back.
Yeah. So we weren't arguing with one another, but maybe we needed to be. Right. Maybe we needed to be getting uncomfortable.
I'd only been saved 11 months. He's been saved since he was 19.
But at the end of the day, I believe in marriage, and I think that it's really important.
You have been watching Winning with Love with Casper and Cheryl Stockham. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are back with the I Am Love Builder Show. Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guests in studio, Michael and Amy Nunn. Hey guys, I forgot to mention, do not disconnect after the show is over and stuff. I wanted to debrief with you. This whole blended family thing, and then you had your younger sister coming to live with you guys. How was that? Were you kind of like having to be her mom and her sister at the same time? I mean, how did that work?
Yeah, but I've been that way for all of my siblings. Something tragically happened with our family to where my stepdad could not live with us for about 7 years when I turned 15. And so my mom had 7 kids. There were 7 of us. And we had to move from the house we were at. We moved into a 100-year-old farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere because it had the cheapest rent, and it didn't have central heat or air. We had to haul water. Like, it was pretty primitive for the time that we lived in. And it had a major impact on the relationship that I had with with my younger siblings, because I kind of had to go into like, okay, I got to, help you guys get showers, or, all these different things. And so it always kind of was that. But that was actually, her moving in with us was something that was important for our marriage, because my siblings always reached out to me when they were struggling, or always, needing help or whatever. And we had 2 toddlers at the time. And I remember Mike and I having a conversation, and he's just like, you're going to have to put some boundaries in place, because our family is the most important. Not that we can't help your siblings, and they were young, like 2 of my siblings were still in high school,
Wow.
and so it was hard for me not to step into that role because I knew that, at the time my mom was really struggling, and so she really wasn't present, and so like she needed that. And my sister tells us even today, she's like, I'm so thankful for you guys. And I don't know what would have happened to me if it hadn't been for you guys, but we really had to learn. I had to learn boundaries and all of that of like, hey guys, listen, this is my time with my family, or this is time with my husband, and my sister just had to fall in line. Like, hey, this is what our rules are in our house. If you don't like this, you can figure it out,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely have to place boundaries, and it's just not just in this situation, but like even when we got married, it was like, we had to place boundaries with our families too, right? And it's very, very important, because it's very important when you start off a relationship, whether it's you're going to be with your significant other for the rest of your life, or when you get married and you're dealing with those families, you immediately have to put boundaries in, these are like, don't step over these lines with us, and to have an honest conversation with it. It's not about hurting people's feelings, but it's setting up expectations for what your relationships are going to be like with that family, right?
Yeah.
So like, for instance, when we had those conversations with them, and then one of the things we had to make sure that we had put boundaries on with our own families, right?
Sure.
So what we did was like, hey, if somebody, if somebody's going on and Amy's is saying something about, Amy's family saying something about something I don't like, or something I did, that is up to her to take care of that, and vice versa. If my family is saying something that Amy's doing that they don't like, it is my job to address that. The reason why that is because my family is going to love me more on a different level than they're going to love Amy, and vice versa.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely have those boundaries in place.
I am just happy. I'm excited to hear you all talk about the fact that you sat down and talked about some circumstances and issues that needed to be discussed, because even though it may have been a natural thing for you, there are so many couples that don't do that.
No.
They don't sit down beforehand and look at their scenarios and say, look, we got this, we got this, we got this. We're going to have to set some boundaries. Or we're going to have to come up with a plan and a strategy on how we're going to handle all these different family dynamics.
Yes. Yeah.
I personally have never had this problem with my family. Adores him, probably loves him more than me. But no, it's so true. Without them, there are so many lines that people allow family to cross with their spouse, and that's this is my number one.
Right.
Not anybody in my family. And it was a hard transition for me because I was such a pillar for all of my siblings for so long. But the reality came is like, my kids need me and my husband needs me, and my family comes secondary. My extended family comes secondary to that. And, one of the things that we did early, actually before we got married, is we had 3 rules, because my family was huge in name calling. So when people would come to our house, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, one time I put my brother and sister in a big shirt and said they have to learn how to get along, and they weren't getting out of it until they did. I mean, I just did. But you don't call each other names to this day. We've been almost married 21 years. We've never called each other a name out of anger or anything like that. The second thing is we would always respect one another. We would never disrespect one another in front of others people. When we don't even do it outside of that either, but we don't fight in front of people. Right. We might have a little tiff or argument, but we take it and we have a conversation with one another. I'm a very direct person, poor Michael. I'm very direct. And so there's sometimes when it's like, listen, we got to talk about this because I'm not okay. Yeah. And then the last one was,
fight fair.
No, that wasn't the last one.
Was one of them.
It was one of them. We're going to fight fair with each other. We're not going to we're not going to do low blows. We're not going to go rehash all the things from the past.
Right.
We're going to deal with the issue now, and then the last one is we pray together every single night. and we have done it our entire marriage.
Wow.
And that is the foundation of why our marriage is as healthy as it is. Not because Mike and I always get things right or do things the right way always.
We get wrong.
We get plenty wrong, but we put God first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you guys teach couples? Because you're echoing what Cheryl and I teach all the time. I mean, the fighting fair and talking things out and being able to move on, conflict resolution and moving on from that and not holding on to it or keeping it in the corner of things.
We do. We have several couples that I can think of off the top of my head that we mentor and just, like when they're struggling, we get a phone call. Even family, even brothers and sisters, like when they're struggling, they call, and I'm a no holds bar, man. I'm going to tell you straight up the truth in love. And but there's a couple that comes to mind, and they are a young couple. They got married very young. He went into the military pretty quickly, and he was gone for like the first 3 years of their marriage mostly. And they had 2 little girls, and I was like, you guys got to learn you don't know each other. You guys have to live together, and you guys have to learn how to learn how to know each other. And so one of my favorite practices that we told them that they had to do was,
we're going to finish up that story here in just a second. Take another quick break, and we'll be right back. You are watching I Am Love Builder Show. Casper and Cheryl. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Texic Coin is the future of money in Texas. Texic Coin is a fast, Layer 1 digital currency designed for generations of honest trade. In many ways, Texic Coin is like Bitcoin. It uses blockchain technology, the decentralized public ledger, to record transactions. Texic Coin makes it easy for anyone to participate in the digital economy. Like Bitcoin, Texic Coin can be traded for other cryptocurrencies or cash. But unlike Bitcoin and other leading cryptos, Texic Coin can only be digitally mined in Texas. Join us as we build the world's largest decentralized cryptocurrency mine. Put control of crypto back in the hands of individuals and away from mega corporations, banks, and foreign nations. With Texic Coin, we can leave the world a better place for our children and future generations.
All right, we are back with the I Am Love Builder Show. Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guest in studio, Michael and Amy Nunn. And Amy, you were telling us about this young couple that you guys were mentoring, and it sounds like they were a military family or something like that, or military.
Yep. Yeah. So we challenged them to practice active listening first, and we walked it out with them like, hey, when you say, hey, you made me feel this way. So what I hear you saying is. Having them do that. And then we also gave them an exercise because they were getting mad at each other. And then every time something would come up, they would bring back something else that was happening. So we told them, said, once a week, I want you to set a time on your calendar every week at the same time. You're going to do this. You're going to sit down and the wife, you're going to tell him everything that frustrated you this week. And then you're not going to talk about it again.
Right.
And you, the husband, you're going to do the same thing. And it's not going to be talked about again. You're done with it.
Yeah.
Don't bring it back up. It doesn't come back up in another fight. If you have a fight about something, you talk about that fight, not bringing up all these past things that have happened. Yeah. And so, and that worked beautifully for them.
Wow, you sound like us.
Yeah. If you work through these problems, and a lot of them are actually small problems and stuff, but they keep building up, right? They become bigger and bigger. But if you deal with them now, and if you're able to move on from them, when something does come up, and nobody's perfect, Cheryl and I have our disagreements, things like that, but it's not a big blowout because we don't have anything to grab from under the rug and say, oh, and by the way, you remember last time, we don't do any of that stuff. We just deal with whatever it is so we can move on.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, we commend you guys for that.
Yes.
So now we want to talk about Amy. You have a coaching. So you always worked in the church, and now you have transitioned from that to you've started your own business.
Yeah. That was a tough one. It was a difficult situation. I felt like God told me to leave, and 6 months later I hadn't left. And so he kind of kicked me out of the nest. And, I am always a big believer in, to disciple people And that means to coach them and to help them learn. And I believe that the word talks about it, saying that we are to equip the saints for the work of the ministry.
That's
and the
right.
ministry is not just within the church. And so I'm very passionate about leadership. I'm passionate about businesses doing it the right way. Because if you can do it the right way, if you can build a culture where people feel like they're winning and they're doing great work and they're being invested in, like your business can just explode. I also work with churches. I have a really large church that I work with down in Florida. And, you know, with them, it's just helping them align. A lot of times what happens in churches is they misalign their vision because they're busy doing instead of focusing on the vision and the mission that God has given them. They end up doing all the things and keep doing and doing and doing and doing, and they never stick to that mission and that vision, and then they get off course along the way. It happens, and it doesn't mean that the church is bad or not doing the right things. They just aren't growing to the potential that God had, you know, put in place for them with all of that. And so, yeah, that's what I get to do, and I love it.
So how did you do that? I mean, was this something you, thought about it and then just decided to step out and do it? Or were you doing a little bit of it at the church and then decide to step out?
I was. So I was at the last church that I was at. I was there almost 9 years. It was a very large church. They ran from 3,000 to 5,000 people on a weekend.
Wow.
And so I personally led a team of 250 people. And when I first started there, I was an associate worship pastor there. And we had about 60 people. And I was like, we are too big of a church not to have more people to serve in this capacity.
Right.
And so I created a development program for people that would come onto the team, because a lot of these young people were coming on and they're playing out in the bar and they're doing all those things on the weekends. And then they're coming into the church and standing on the platform. And I call it a platform because it's a place of influence versus a stage, which is a place of performance.
Yes.
And so I created this curriculum, and we grew from 60 people to 180 within 15 months because they were being invested in. We were setting up mentorships for them and all these things. And the pastors and the executive staff were like, hey, you need to do this for the church. And so I was teaching classes to business owners and leaders. And I just decided to get my certification as a leadership coach. And I knew that God wanted me to step out and do this. I just delayed it as we do sometimes.
Yes.
And so I started my business because I do believe that I can equip the saints for the work of the ministry through the way that I'm doing it now. I don't have to be in a church to do ministry.
That's right.
Now, would you say that your main clientele are churches, or who's your main customer?
My main clientele are businesses.
Businesses, okay. Small to medium size, or medium to large size?
Small to medium size, yeah. I've created several tools that I'm a certified practitioner with Everything DISC, which is a personality profile, which talks about people's behaviors and different things. So I'm really good at picking up on that stuff really quickly. And I train business owners and their teams how to also do that. And I used it a lot within the church, because if I had a certain team member that was struggling, I had to approach them in a way that they needed to be approached, not how I do it. Otherwise it would be direct all the time. Well, but for instance, Mike's a C personality. Okay. And I'm a D, I'm an ID. So I like people, and I'm also very direct, right?
Yeah.
C is more analytical, which is why he's great at being a people manager in an implementations department of MasterCard. He's very technical in that way.
Yeah.
But approaching him with something has to be completely different than I would approach someone that is like me, because he's looking for more data, facts, more analytical type of things versus where I'm just like, hey, let's have a party.
I like that.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you all balance that? I mean, Mike, when you saw she's ready to step out into a gifting that she has, how did you all discuss that? What was the dynamic around it?
And just before you answer that, you got about 10 seconds, and then I'm going to take a break. So,
We'll say that on the other side then.
Okay.
all right, we're going to take another quick break. You're watching I Am Love of the Show, Casper and Cheryl. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back in just a moment.
Hello, everybody. Casper and Cheryl here. And guess what? We won our first year. And we win a Lonzy Award. We can't thank you guys enough. We appreciate you. Yes.
All right, we're back with the I Am Love of the Show, Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guests in studio, Michael and Amy Nunn. And Michael, you were just getting ready to tell us about a situation that you were dealing with.
Well, when Amy had to transition off her, from the ministry, it came to a point like, I've always supported her what she wanted to do, where from her career perspective, because she stepped out and doing things that are really non-traditional, from coming to trying to come into the church, which for a lot of churches, having a female pastor is not something that is welcome in a lot of chururs.
Right.
And that she's done, becoming, worship pastor and becoming, going up the pastoral step ladder. And then, then she had to transition, but I've always supported her in that. So when she came to me, it's like, okay, this is what I want to do. I've always supported her in doing that. And in the background, like, God, this is give me the comfort level that we need for this to happen. It never says, no, this is not the direction you need to go into. So it's always been like, hey, give us peace about this, give us a comfort level, and in a way she's gone. So if from that aspect, it's always, do I have peace about the decision that she needs to make and where she wants to go from here? And is God never steers you wrong when you ask for that peace, right?
Right.
So that's because otherwise I would be thinking about every other, and I do in other aspects. I think about every other possibility that could be, being the pessimist I am. Everything that could go wrong, and I'm gonna bring that up. But it's like, hey, God, what do you want me to do? Because I could analyze this to death, and we could be going nowhere.
Exactly. So, yeah. Sometimes you just have to let go and let God.
Yep.
Exactly. What's so cool is that I don't. We have a little thing we've recently shared this with our kids, is like how the decisions are made in the house. And so for me, when I do stuff with my business, I always go to him and I'm like, hey, here's some things I'm thinking, and here's what I'm doing. What do you think about this? Do you think I'm going down the wrong way? Does it make sense? Like, because sometimes you just don't know. Right. And we talk to our kids, and this goes back to marriage, but it also goes back to, because I am under my husband's covering in our marriage, I still want him to have input into my business. Yeah. And so you want to tell them the decision-making process at our house?
Well, I mean, it's, you're talking about the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And by the way, this is his, this is not mine.
So it's a variation. The percentages can fluctuate here and there depending on what I'm telling you to, right? But we'll go for 80-20.
Okay.
So for households that have husband and wife, 80% of the activities and decisions that go on in that said household are going to be taken care of by the wife. 20% is taken care of by the husband.
Okay.
Just because 80% is above 20% doesn't mean that it factors in more. It means 80% is the household day-to-day activities that happen, whether it is the schedule or taking care of the kids, or what have you. The 20% that I am responsible for is really basically the decisions that going, when I stand before God and had to make those decisions, those hard decisions where, I had to be the deciding factor. And these are really major life decisions, right? I had to, when I stand before God, I have to answer to that, right? So, the hard decisions for life is like, we can't do this because financially, even though we don't want it, or something's going on with the child and we have to make that major life decision.
Right.
Where I have to take in, ultimately, because I'm the head of the household, I have to take that responsibility. And, it's that 20%. It's the 20% that does not come along that often, just as important as the 80% that goes on the day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So,
there were many years that I tried to lead because, I'm a go-getter. I'm a high achiever. And so I'm just going to go and go and go. And if I don't see decisions being made quickly, I'm just going to make them and we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
And I remember the time where I was just so frustrated and God was like, stop leading. And I was like, but I need to. And then he just revealed to me that I'm not going to stand before him at the end of the day and answer for how my family was led.
Right.
And I was like, okay, you're right. It was actually, because I know a lot of women struggle with this whole submitting, and I don't feel like it's submitting. I feel like I'm honoring what God has put in place.
Yeah.
And
when your Adam is in alignment with God, it's easy to fall into that alignment because you are following God at the same time as you're following your husband.
Yeah. But I know friends of mine that their husband is following God and they still can't submit in the way that I'm talking about, honoring the role that God has placed on him, because I am not going to stand before God and answer for the decisions that are being made. He will, and that was actually really freeing for me.
Yeah.
My thing
That's my own fault.
My thing is, I don't want to be called to the principal's office. So look, I'm gonna make sure I do everything right, because I remember as a child that was just terrifying if you ever got called to the principal's office. And so that's why I always related to that. And so I try to make sure that me and God, like, God, we cool, okay? He's supposed to do that, okay? I'm gonna let him do it, and I'm just gonna sit, because actually I got enough to do. So I really don't need to take things off his plate and put it on mine. My plate is actually full. So I'm going to I don't have a problem with the word submit. I'm comfortable with it. I will submit. God, you and me are in good standing, and I won't be called to the principal's office. So I'm going to stay in as the kids say, I'm going to stay in my lane and not start crossing back and forth. I'm going to stay right here.
Yeah.
It always goes better for you when you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
stay
say
out
it.
of trouble. Stay out of trouble. Yeah.
It's interesting go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say we have seconds left, but go ahead. You had something you wanted to...
No, it would have delved into a very long conversation. So
well, we'll have to have you guys back and stuff. We enjoyed the time talking to you guys, and we're at the end of the show.
I know it went by fast.
I told you it was going to go by fast.
I just want to celebrate you.
Yes,
I love the way how you guys have handled, even in your younger years. I mean, you probably went in your early 20s, but even couples in their mid-20s don't have the foresight to sit down talk things out, talk it through so that it doesn't end up into big chaos and confusion.
Yeah.
So I just celebrate you two for what you have achieved and what you've done.
Yes. Well done.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Well done.
It's
Hey,
hard
folks,
work.
yeah. Hey, folks, you've been watching I Am Love Builder Show, and we have our Winning with Love TV show as well. And we're so excited to be able to bring all this information to you. You can get all this access to it from our app, our MVP app on our website, because we want you to become MVPs. We want
Yes.
you to become the best Adam you can be for the guys, and Eve to become the best Eve she can be. And when you bring those two together, that's when the magic happens. That's why
Amen.
we bring on couples like Michael and Amy. Hey, guys, thank you for coming on the show, and we will see everyone on the next show. Bye-bye for now.